Stop being so insecure. He's just a backup in case we don't work out. She said about the guy she'd been sending nudes. I said, makes sense. Changed the locks and packed her things while she was at work the next day. She came home to boxes and started banging on the door. I opened it and said, good thing you have a backup. Call him, and closed the door. She called him crying right there. He hung up on her. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I'm a 28-year-old guy, at the time, 30 now, working as a project manager for a mid-sized tech firm. Nothing glamorous, but it's stable, pays the bills, and lets me save for the future. I met Emily, 27F then, about 3 years earlier through a mutual friend at a barbecue. She was outgoing, funny, and had this energy that pulled me in. I was coming off a rough breakup from college, so I took things slow, but she pursued me hard. Texts all day, surprise dates, the works. We clicked, or at least I thought we did. From the start, I was all in. Emily was going through a tough spot. She'd just lost her job as a graphic designer due to company layoffs, and her freelance gigs weren't steady. I stepped up without hesitation. I covered her share of the rent when we moved in together after a year. Our cozy 2-bedroom apartment in the city outskirts. I helped her update her portfolio, even stayed up late proofreading her pitches to clients. When she got stressed, I'd cook her favorite meals or plan low-key weekends to recharge. I wasn't perfect, but I was loyal. No games, no wandering eyes. I pictured a future, marriage, maybe kids down the line. She said the same, or at least acted like it. But looking back, there were red flags I brushed off as my own insecurity, like she always accused me of. She'd spend hours on her phone, giggling at messages, but if I asked who it was, she'd snap, just a friend from work. Why are you always so paranoid? Or she'd post vague stories on social media about needing excitement and tag them with emojis that felt off. I chalked it up to her creative side. Artists need inspiration, right? I didn't snoop. I trusted her. Big mistake. Things escalated about 6 months before the end. Emily landed a new job at a design agency, which was great at first. She started going out more with coworkers, coming home late smelling like bars. Our sex life tanked. She'd claim exhaustion or headaches. When I tried to talk, she'd turn it around. You're smothering me. I need space to grow. I'd back off, apologize even, and try harder. Flowers, date nights. Flashback to one night. I'd worked overtime to afford a surprise weekend getaway for her birthday. She opened the tickets, smiled briefly, then said, "That's sweet, but I have plans with the team that weekend." Rain check. I swallowed the hurt, nodded, and rescheduled my own plans. That's who I was, committed, even when it felt one-sided. The cracks really showed when I started noticing her phone blowing up from a guy named Jake. I'd see his name pop up when she left it charging. "Who's Jake?" I asked casually once over dinner. She rolled her eyes. "A friend from the agency. He's helping with a project." God, stop being so jealous. I let it go, but the doubt gnawed at me. I wasn't the type to demand passwords or check her stuff. That felt controlling. Instead, I focused on us, suggesting couples therapy or more quality time. She laughed it off. "We're fine. You're overthinking." Then came the night everything shattered. It was a Friday. I'd gotten home early from work, planning to surprise her with takeout from her favorite Thai place. She was in the shower, her phone on the counter buzzing nonstop. I wasn't trying to pry, but a notification flashed, a photo preview from Jake. Curiosity got me. I unlocked it. We had each other's codes for emergencies. What I found hit like a gut punch. Dozens of messages, flirty at first, then explicit. Nudes she'd sent him, recent ones, from our bathroom. Texts like, "Can't wait to see you again," and his replies, "You're so much hotter than my ex." But the worst? Her explaining me away. "Don't worry about my boyfriend. He's just stable. You're the fun one." I felt sick. My hands shook as I scrolled, piecing it together. This had been going on for months. I put the phone down, sat on the couch, and waited. When she came out, towel wrapped and humming, she saw my face and froze. I didn't yell or throw things. My voice was steady, even if my chest felt like it was caving in. "Emily, we need to talk." She sighed dramatically, like I was interrupting her evening. "What now? If this is about work again, it's about Jake," I said, keeping my tone flat. I saw the messages, the nudes, everything. Her eyes widened for a split second, then she recovered with a scoff. She crossed her arms, leaning against the doorframe. You went through my phone? That's a violation of trust, you know. I stared at her. You're sending nudes to another guy, and you're mad at me for seeing a notification? She rolled her eyes, walking over to grab her phone. It's not what you think. Jake's just a friend. We flirt sometimes. It's harmless. Everyone does it. Harmless. I echoed, my mind reeling. You called him your backup. Said I'm just stable. That's not flirting. That's cheating. She laughed, a sharp, dismissive sound that cut deep. Oh, come on. Stop being so insecure. He's just a backup in case we don't work out. You know, like insurance. Relationships aren't guaranteed, right? I mean, you've been so boring lately. Always working, never spontaneous. Jake gets my creative side. He makes me feel alive. I felt the words like slaps, but I didn't react. Inside, confusion swirled. How had I missed this? Was I really that blind? But outwardly, I stayed calm. So, you're keeping options open while I pay the bills and support you? She shrugged, scrolling through her phone like we were discussing the weather. Look, it's not cheating if nothing physical happened. We just talk. And yeah, maybe I've thought about it. If things with you keep dragging. But you're twisting this. Everyone has backups these days. It's practical. If you weren't so clingy, maybe I wouldn't need one. Her logic twisted like a knife. Practical? I thought of all the nights I'd held her through panic attacks about her career, the money I'd lent for her art supplies. Clingy? I've been here for you, Emily. Through everything. She smirked, tucking her hair behind her ear. And I appreciate that. But let's be real. You're safe, not exciting. Jake challenges me. If you can't handle a little competition, maybe you're not ready for a real relationship. She paused, her tone turning smug. Honestly, I was going to tell you eventually. This just speeds things up. Maybe we should take a break so I can figure things out. A break. Right. Her way of keeping me on the hook while she explored. I nodded slowly, processing. Makes sense. She blinked, caught off guard. Wait, that's it. No fighting for me. No begging. I stood up, grabbing the takeout bag I'd forgotten on the table. No. If that's how you see me, a backup to your backup, then yeah, makes sense. She narrowed her eyes, a hint of uncertainty creeping in. Fine. Whatever. I'll crash at a friend's tonight. We can talk tomorrow when you've cooled off. She grabbed some clothes and stormed out, slamming the door. I sat there for a minute, the silence deafening. Then I got to work. I called a locksmith, emergency service, paid extra for same day. While they changed the locks, I packed her things. Clothes in suitcases, art supplies in boxes, everything neatly labeled. No damage, no pettiness. Just efficient detachment. By morning, it was done. I texted her. Your stuff is outside. Keys won't work. Good luck. She didn't reply right away, probably assuming I'd cave. But when she showed up that evening after work, banging on the door like a maniac, reality hit. Let me in. This is my apartment too, she shouted through the door, her voice muffled but furious. I opened it just a crack, the chain still on. Her face was red, hair disheveled from the day. Boxes sat neatly on the welcome mat. What the hell? You can't just lock me out. I kept my voice even. You wanted a break. Options. This seemed practical. She pounded the door again. This is crazy. We need to talk. I didn't mean it like that. Jake's nothing serious. Come on, open up. Good thing you have a backup, I said calmly. Call him. Her eyes flashed with anger, then desperation. You're being ridiculous. Fine, if that's how you want it. She pulled out her phone, dialing right there in the hallway. I heard it ring. Then Jake's voice on speaker, gruff, annoyed. Emily? What now? She sniffled, tears starting. Jake, he kicked me out. Can I come over? I need a place, he cut her off. Whoa, slow down. Kicked you out. That's your drama. I'm not getting involved. Besides, my girlfriend's here. Don't call again. Click. He hung up. She stared at the phone, then at me, her face crumbling. Please, let me in. I have nowhere else. I shook my head. You made your choices. Then I closed the door, locked it, and walked away as the banging resumed. That night, after the door closed on Emily's pleas and the hallway fell quiet, I didn't celebrate or rage. I just sat there. The apartment felt echoey without her stuff cluttering the place. Her sketchbooks gone from the coffee table, her clothes no longer spilling out of the closet. I'd always been the one to tidy up after her creative bursts, But now it was just empty space. I poured myself a glass of water, sank onto the couch, and let the weight of it all settle in. Confusion hit first. How had I ended up here? Flashback to our first anniversary. I'd saved for months to take her to that cabin upstate, where we hiked and talked about dreams. She wanted to start her own design studio. I promised to help with the business side. I did, set up her website, even loaned her startup cash from my savings. In return, she'd been lining up Jake as insurance. It felt so unfair, like I'd been playing a game where the rules were rigged against me. Was I really boring? Stable, sure. I'd grown up watching my parents scrape by, so yeah, I valued security. But exciting? I'd surprised her with concert tickets, spontaneous road trips. Apparently, that wasn't enough next to whatever Jake offered. The next few days blurred into a haze. I called in sick to work, something I never did. Mornings, I'd wake up staring at the ceiling, replaying her words. Everyone has backups. Did they? My friends didn't. My buddy Mark had been with his wife for a decade, no options in sight. I questioned everything. Was I too trusting? Too accommodating? The silence amplified it all. No text from her at first, which stung in its own way. Like I was that easy to discard. I blocked her number temporarily, not out of spite, but to breathe. Unfollowed her on social media too. Didn't need to see her posts about new beginnings or whatever spin she'd put on it. But the unfairness gnawed deepest. I'd sacrificed for us. Turned down a promotion that required travel because she hated being alone. Worked extra hours to cover her freelance dry spells. And for what? To be called clingy, while she sent nudes to some agency sleaze? I allowed myself the vulnerability there, alone, no one to perform for. Tears came once, brief and hot, but I wiped them away. This wasn't about wallowing, it was processing. I started small steps. Hit the gym for the first time in months, cleared out the fridge of her weird health foods. Reconnected with old friends I'd neglected. Mark came over with beers one night. "Dude, you dodged a bullet," he said. I nodded, but inside, it still felt like a gut shot. Weeks turned into a month. The confusion faded into clarity. I wasn't the problem. Her manipulation was. Gaslighting me about insecurity while building an exit strategy? That was on her. I threw myself into work, landing a side project that boosted my confidence. Started dating casually, nothing serious, just reminders that options existed for me too. But I didn't rush. The silence became my ally, not my enemy. I realized I deserved someone who saw me as the main plan, not a safety net. By 2 months in, the pain was a dull ache, not a sharp stab. I'd evolved, from the guy who'd apologize for her moods to someone who knew his worth. No contact from her end, which I assumed meant she'd moved on with Jake. Fine by me. I was building a life where she didn't fit anymore. Then the attempt started. Subtle at first. A mutual friend mentioned her rough patch. I changed the subject. But soon, it escalated. It began with a text from an unknown number. Hers, probably a burner or borrowed phone since I'd blocked the original. "Hey, it's Emily. Can we talk? I miss our talks." I read it, felt nothing but mild annoyance, and deleted it. No response. That opened the floodgates. A week later, my phone rang from her best friend, Sarah, someone I'd always found pushy, the type to dominate conversations with her own drama. I answered, thinking it might be about shared stuff I'd forgotten. "Listen," Sarah started without hello, her voice dripping with fake concern. "Emily's a mess. You need to talk to her. What you did was harsh, locking her out like that. She's crashing on my couch, crying every night." I kept my tone neutral. "She made her choices, Sarah. This isn't my problem." She huffed. "Come on, be a man about it. Everyone makes mistakes. She didn't even sleep with Jake. It was just talk. You're overreacting." "Mistakes?" I echoed. She called him her backup while sending nudes. "That's not a mistake. That's a plan." Sarah paused, then turned nasty. "Wow, bitter much? She said you'd be like this, petty and unforgiving." "Fine, rot alone then." Click. I shook my head, unfazed. Her toxicity matched Emily's circle perfectly. Next came Emily's mom. I'd met her a few times. Always critical, blaming me for Emily's stress. She left a voicemail. "This is ridiculous. My daughter's heartbroken, and you're playing games? Call her back." Family sticks together, even if you're not blood. I deleted it. Unpleasant didn't cover it. Demanding, entitled, like I owed them reconciliation. Emily ramped up. Voicemails poured in. First apologetic. I screwed up. Jake was nothing. I was scared of commitment. Please, let's meet. I still love you. Then pleading. I have nowhere stable. Work's shaky. The agency's cutting hours. Remember how you helped me before? I need that now. Desperation crept in, her voice cracking. She showed up at my building one evening, buzzing the intercom relentlessly. I answered from upstairs. Emily, go home. I don't have one, she shouted, audible even through the speaker. Let me up. We can fix this. I was stupid. Jake ghosted me after that call. Turns out he had a girlfriend the whole time. Used me for fun. Karma's first real bite. I'd heard whispers from mutuals. Jake was known around the agency as a player, bouncing between women. Apparently, after hanging up on her, he spread rumors, called her clingy and desperate, even hinted at the nudes to colleagues. Her reputation tanked, clients pulled back, and she got demoted. Friends distanced themselves. Turns out, some knew about the cheating and sided against her. She was isolated, scraping by on Sarah's couch, her exciting life unraveling. But I felt no sympathy. Sounds rough, I said flatly. But you had your backup. She banged on the door below. Don't throw that in my face. I was wrong, okay? Begging now, happy? Take me back. We were good together. No, I replied. We're done. The attempts turned angry after that. Texts flooded. You're heartless. How can you ignore me? I gave you 3 years. Then accusations. Bet you're seeing someone else already. Hypocrite. Her true colors shone. Manipulative. Lashing out when sweetness failed. She enlisted her brother next, a guy I'd barely spoken to, who emailed. Man up and forgive her. She's family. You're making this harder than it needs to be. Rude. Presumptuous. Like I was the villain. By now, the broader karma had hit. Mutual friends filled me in. Jake's girlfriend found out, confronted Emily publicly at a work event, screaming match that got her blacklisted from industry mixers. She lost her job entirely, resorting to odd gigs. Broke, alone, irrelevant in the circles she'd chased. It was ironic. Her practical plan left her with nothing. I stayed detached through it all. No responses after that intercom chat. Her hypocrisy was clear, accusing me of insecurity while begging desperately. The power had flipped. She was the one unraveling. A few months after the angry texts tapered off, she'd gone radio silent, probably assuming I'd crack eventually. Life had fully shifted for me. I'd gotten a promotion at work, leading a team on bigger projects, and started volunteering at a local makerspace, turning my organizational skills into something creative. Dating? Yeah, I'd met someone new, Lisa, through a hiking group. Nothing flashy, but genuine. No backups, no games. She appreciated the stable me, and it felt effortless. Emily? She was a distant memory, like an old chapter I'd outgrown. I didn't think about her well-being or wish her ill. She was just irrelevant. Then came the mutual friend's birthday party. Our old circle, Mark and a few others, had invited me to a casual gathering at a rooftop bar downtown. I almost skipped it, knowing Emily might show, but why hide? I'd moved on. Lisa came with me, and we were laughing over drinks when I spotted her across the room. Emily looked rough, hair unkempt, clothes baggy like she'd lost weight, eyes scanning desperately. She beelined for me when our gazes met, ignoring the crowd. Hey, she said, voice shaky but trying for casual. She glanced at Lisa, then back to me. Can we talk? Privately. I set my drink down, calm as ever. Lisa squeezed my hand, supportive, not territorial, and stepped aside politely. Sure, I said, but make it quick. We moved to a quieter corner. Emily fidgeted, twisting her hands. I didn't expect to see you here. You look good. Happy. I nodded. No thanks, no elaboration. Look, I've been thinking, she rushed on, words tumbling. I messed up bad. Jake was a disaster. He cheated on his girlfriend with me, then ditched me when she found out. Work fired me over the drama. No one's hiring me now. I'm staying with my mom, scraping by on temp jobs. It's hell. But you, we had something real. I see that now. Please, give me another chance. I'll change. No more stupidity. I need you. Her eyes welled up, desperation peaking. It was a far cry from the smug girl who'd laughed off my pain. I met her gaze evenly, feeling nothing but detachment. You said I was insecure for worrying about Jake. Called him your backup because I was too boring, too safe. Practical, right? She winced. I was wrong. Immature. But we've grown. No. I cut in, firm but unemotional. You've got it backward. I grew. This life, the promotion, the friends, the peace, it's mine now. Without the manipulation or the games. You're the one chasing backup still, but I'm not one anymore. Her face twisted, tears to anger in seconds. So that's it. You're done? After everything, you just throw me away like trash. I shrugged. You threw us away first. And honestly, I don't think about you at all these days. You're irrelevant to my happiness. She stared, mouth agape, as the hypocrisy hung there. The power reversal was complete. She desperate, me thriving. Lisa waved from across the room. I turned away. Take care, I said over my shoulder, walking back without a glance. Emily slunk off soon after, the party buzzing with whispers about her downfall. Mark later told me she'd cornered him earlier, begging for my number again. No dice. That was the last I heard from Emily. Mutuals say she's still struggling, bouncing between jobs. Her social circle shrunk to just Sarah and family, who apparently enable her excuses. Jake, last I heard, he got canned from the agency for harassment complaints. Karma all around, I guess. But I don't dwell on it. Life's too good now. Lisa and I are planning a trip, work's fulfilling, and I've got hobbies that light me up. The betrayal stung, but it forced me to level up. If anything, I'm grateful for the clarity. It showed me what I won't settle for. AITA for handling it this way, locking her out, ignoring the pleas, delivering that final shutdown. Some might say cold, but after the manipulation and disrespect, I think dignity won out. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.